Good evening. It is January 5th, 2016, and this is Google Rocks number 84. And we have some very, very special guests today who will be talking about CUE Rockstar Teacher Camp, which will be held on the island of Maui, July 12th to the 14th. And so we got all the big wigs with us tonight. And I will go across the board and ask them to introduce themselves briefly, and then I'll turn it all over to Danielle Forst, who is going to be moderating the rest of the night. So I'll introduce myself as Linda Lindsay. I am the librarian at Seabury Hall, and through Joe Wood, actually, we have the privilege at Seabury Hall to host the very first Hawaii CUE Rockstar Teacher Camp on the island of Maui on our campus. So very excited and learning all the way. Danielle will be leading me as we go through the process. So I'm very excited about it. And so Danielle, would you briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Linda. I'm Danielle Forst. I work for CUE. I'm the Professional Learning Coordinator. I work with John, who you'll meet in just a minute, and we put together all of the CUE Rockstar camps. And we are going to be coming to Maui, as Linda said, in July, and I'm really excited to be there on your island and to bring that professional development event to you all.
Awesome. Joe. Oh, sorry, Diane.
Oh, hi. My name is Diane Main, and I am Director of Learning, Innovation, and Design for the Upper School campus at the Harker School in San Jose, California. And I've been involved with at least one Rockstar a year since it started, and it's super fun, and I'm really excited for the folks in Hawaii who get to experience this.
All righty. And just joining us now, Jody, you happen to be up for introductions next. Sorry. If you would tell us a little bit about yourself and how you might be involved with the Rockstar Camp.
Oh my gosh. Is my mic on? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Oh, that's great. It's fixed magically. Hi, I'm Jody Brown. I'm the Kalama librarian, and I'm here to listen and learn. That's all I know. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm actually trying to get her to come to the camp, so I have a motive, Jody. Okay, Joe, could you tell us about yourself?
Sure. I'm Joe Wood. I'm the Director of Technology and Assessment for Natomas Charter School in Sacramento, California. And similar to Diane, I've been involved with CUE Rockstar for a number of years, mainly up in Lake Tahoe. So each summer we've done CUE Rockstar Tahoe at a location in Truckee, which is just outside the Lake Tahoe area. Looking forward to coming to Hawaii.
Great. John? John?
Diane had made me mute myself, so that took me a second to transition there. See the laughter across the bottom row? My name is John Corippo. I am Director of Academic Innovation for CUE, and I kind of invented the CUE Rockstar Camps. I think we're on year 7. Does that sound right, Diane? Can it be 7? And Diane's a great example. She entered a contest to get free attendance and said she made this whole presentation about I need to go to a CUE Rockstar camp, and she came right into my session and started sharing stuff with us, and we just became instant Wonder Twins at that point, and that just kind of grew and expanded. And really, if anybody's wondering what the CUE Rockstar thing is about, the first thing it's not about is divas. We don't do divas. It's really about, if you're old enough to remember when Courtney Cox got pulled out of the audience by Bruce Springsteen, it's really about hanging out and sharing and really decommoditizing teachers and helping teachers to maximize their practice and really join a community of people who want to be more than just another handouter.
Great. Michael?
Hey everyone, I'm Mike Fricano. I'm a Tech Innovation Specialist for a K-12 private school in Hawaii, Hawaii School, and a Maker Ed educator, and incoming president of the Hawaii Society for Technology and Education.
Great. Okay, Shane?
Hi, I'm Shane Asselstein. I'm the Curriculum and Technology Coordinator at Mominoni Elementary School here in Hawaii, and I'm just kind of excited to hear about all this, and hopefully I get accepted, and we're all part of it next when it comes up.
Very good. As you can see, we have a stellar panel today. I'm going to hand it over to Danielle, who will drive the discussion, and we'll be entertaining questions and in the Q&A if you like. And if you'd like to tweet out a question, Michael and I will be looking at the tweets and looking for the hashtag either EdChatHi, which is for EdChat Hawaii, EdChatHi, or hashtag CUE Rockstar. So yes, if you have questions, ask away. Go ahead, Danielle. Thank you for coming.
Thanks very much. So John said we're in year 7 of the CUE Rockstar Camp, and John, you are the chief instigator of the camp, so I'm hoping that you can talk a little bit more on the background of the camp, how you designed it, why you designed it, and a little bit of the philosophy that we live by as we run these camps and set them up.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect thing for me to talk about. You know, about 8 or 9 years ago, I was working for the Fresno County Office of Education, and I was basically going to 1 or 2 conferences a week, and I really got bummed out by just sitting and sitting and sitting and listening. And then, you know, if you guys have been to conferences, and when I look at the list of folks here, you all have been. Have you ever had that moment at 3 o'clock where you say, "I wonder what I was doing at 9 this morning"? Was there a good session at 10 that I can't remember? And so sometimes you have to literally look through the handouts to remember the session, and then you go, "Oh yeah, that was a great session." And so there was that bit. This also kind of developed at the same time ed camps were developing on the East Coast, and the idea of being hands-on and really constructing things instead of just listening, slide deck listening. And so in going to those conferences, I would spend time in the back thinking, how could we do this better? How could we do this better? And with the template and format that we kind of came up with, which just it was one of those things where just as soon as we did it, everybody went, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever." We have 2 hours of hands-on session in the morning. It's a single 2-hour session, which that'll sound long to some people until you get into one, because once you're really building things, it goes past really fast. Then we have a 2-hour lunch because we're all burned out from working for 2 hours. And so we need a chance to, you know, gather ourselves and think and talk. And then we have another 2-hour session. So the day is a 6-hour agenda, but you've got a 2-hour session, 2-hour lunch, and then another 2-hour session. And so what happened at lunch at the very first Rockstar Camp was I had all these cool activities planned. We'll do this, and we'll do this, and we'll do this. Everybody came out of their sessions, and Diane can vouch for this. People were so jacked up about talking about what they were doing and meeting people, and they were grabbing people going, "You should have been in this session. It was so cool. I want to introduce you," because we don't all retreat to a speaker's room. We're all in the same place. And we spend those 2 hours at lunch really hanging out, and that's kind of evolved now into sort of a informal unconference time. And we teach teachers how to use Twitter better, and we teach teachers how to be socially connected on social media and best practices and things like that. And then we really build that social bit and personality over 3 days, and it's kind of a road trip experience. You know, the first day everybody's kind of getting the feel of the template, and the second day they're like, "Okay, I get this," and then the third day they're literally like, you know, when you send your kids to camp and they don't know the other kids at camp, and then on Friday they're crying because they miss their friends. It's very much like that. And then there's a couple of little nuances that we do they're a little different. How many of you have gone to a conference and then you read the little blurb, right? They give you the handout and you read the little blurb and you go, "This session might be good and this session might be bad, and I can't tell." And sometimes you sit down in a session and you realize you're spending an hour there and it's just not going to be that fruitful. So what we do in the morning, we call them shred sessions, like you know, shredding on a guitar, like a guitar solo kind of thing. And all the presenters get and we usually change the rules as we go, but it's usually a 1-minute or a 2-minute scenario, and you basically get to do a live infomercial for what your session's going to be that day. And what it gives the attendees a chance to do is see what your energy is, what your vibe is. We've had people that are music teachers going to math sessions just because they like the way that presenter or faculty member their creativity and their perspective on things. And so we have people in kind of dissimilar groups sometimes, but they're interested in being with that person and learning and working with them for 2 hours. And a lot of our sessions will have, you'll walk into one of the sessions and there'll be no people in there because they're out making an iMovie trailer, or they're out recording Instagram pictures and doing a photo walk as part of the session. So our goal of all the sessions is that when people leave, that they have a skill set that they can go to school Monday and use. And so, like, if you were gonna go to a Schoology session, you would come out with a Schoology account built, and you would already have dumped some lessons in and maybe done a couple of sessions. If you're going to a session that's about Instagram, you might come out and you'll have already made a hashtag. You'll have 15, 20 followers. You will have gone on a photo walk, so that when you do that next field trip, which I imagine the field trips in Hawaii are pretty good for pictures, you'll have a really good strategy for communicating with parents what was going on the field trip academically, things like that. So I don't want to go too long, but that's the idea, is that it's very hands-on and it's very much social. It's about meeting new friends and working with other teachers. And if I was going to put it on a continuum, you'd have a conference over here like an ISTE or a CUE, you know, that kind of a conference where it's 45-minute sessions or 60-minute sessions, and those have a place in the you know, educational professional development sphere, but they're over on this side. And then over here you would have your ed camp, and ed camps are also really cool. I love the idea of teachers, you know, taking control of their own learning, but sometimes ed camps can be kind of intimidating for newbies, you know, because sometimes the skill level is a little higher at an ed camp, and sometimes you're spending a lot of time kind of getting the format. So we think Rockstar fits right down the middle, because you can look ahead and see where your sessions are, but they're not exactly fixed in place. And I'll just wrap up with kind of giving Diane a bad time, but she just rolled into my session and just started oversharing the way she does, and it's so fabulous. And I just basically said, get on up here and help me do this, because I don't need you out there just watching anymore. And if that sounds attractive to you, that's the kind of stuff that we do.
Thanks, John. I wanted to just jump in there and add a couple of things. You talked about the schedule, and we should note that our schedule, our day actually starts at 9 o'clock, so we're not an early start either. By the time people arrive at our conference, they're already...
If you've ever gone to a conference and you're getting up at 7:30 in the morning going, why did I do this? This is the conference for you. And I think Diane might have even made this up. We start late and we start late and we end early.
So we start at 9 with what John said, the shred session, where our faculty is getting up and talking a little bit about the session that they're going to be doing. And the attendees, they have an opportunity to get a feel for the presenter and a little bit more of what the session would be. There's no need to, you know, select the sessions that you want to go to ahead of time. You decide, you know, that morning after you've heard the shreds where you want to go and what you want to do. We end at 4, so it's the 30-minute morning shred session, then the 2-hour session, then we have our 2-hour lunch. We provide lunch. We bring that in, and we always have a dessert as well. So it's nice. Everyone stays on site, eating and talking together and learning together with a nice tasty dessert afterward. But our sessions are, again, 2 hours in length, and they're really designed to be hands-on. They're also really faculty-driven, because all of our camps, we have different faculty at each camp, and with our faculty, they bring their incredible skill set. So we certainly have session themes, and we have many session themes that faculty who want to become part of our camp, they submit and talk about what it is, you know, the goals that they have for their attendees, and how their session fits in with our themes, which are fairly consistent across camps, but the actual topic and the hands-on learning involved in the sessions is very unique to each camp. So that's a really exciting piece as well. And next, I want to ask Joe. Joe Wood is going to be our lead for the camp, and Joe's going to be working with Linda and me, you know, to help put the whole thing together. And Joe, you've done several Rockstar camps, and I was hoping that you could answer this question. If I'm thinking about being faculty at the Rockstar in Maui, why should I be the Rockstar faculty? Why should I apply?
Well, first there's the obvious, the location. I've actually been to Linda's school. It's a beautiful location. It's absolutely amazing. But beyond that, I'll have to say that personally, out of all of the professional learning events that I do each year, and I am fortunate to do a number of them, the Rockstar Camps are always my favorite because they're basically summer camp for teachers. It's an opportunity to come together, to learn new things, to really sort of bond and connect. What I also love about it, though, is that as a presenter, you're leading a 2-hour hands-on session. So it's really not about sort of your expertise as much as your ability to sort of facilitate the learning. And so if you're a connector, if you like, bringing groups of people together and kind of sharing ideas and exchanging and facilitating the conversation, this is the perfect camp for you. You don't feel like you have to come in with a 2-hour slide deck, and actually that's the last thing we want you to do. Instead, you're kind of coming in, with an idea and really taking it and making it with the people in the group. And so, some of the workshops I've done is we've done smartphone photography, which was honestly about me wanting to learn how to use my phone better, and sort of kind of setting up that workshop, kind of building some stuff ahead of time. And then we were up in Truckee, so we went and did a photo safari in the forest behind the school and really got to sort of, try out Instagram and try out different filtering software and stuff. I've also done sessions on, YouTube or Minecraft. I have a camp coming up here in a couple months where we're doing a session on robotics. And so all of these are really about, wanting to try new things and experiment with new things and really sort of leading a conversation. As a presenter at the Rockstar Camps, what's kind of cool is, as John and Danielle were mentioning, you end up doing the same session twice each day. So for a 3-day camp, you're really only coming up with 3 things. But what's really cool is that you can have the same workshop 2 times, and they can be 2 dramatically different workshops, largely based on the people that are coming in, the curiosities they have, the questions that they have. But in the end, it's about coming together, learning, and making something. So if you're somebody that wants an opportunity in Maui at a beautiful school location to facilitate learning for 3 days, this is your place, and you will get as much out of it. Actually, you'll probably get 10 times more out of it what you put into it. And so that's why I always love it as a camp, because I'll lead 3 sessions, but to me it's I can learn a wealth of information from the attendees.
And I want to jump in there too, Joe. I routinely hear that we've got about 150 people who routinely do these for us each summer across the United States. And I routinely hear people come up to me after leading their first group out, they're being faculty, they will come up and say, "Oh my God, I learned 5 times more than the people in my session." And that's really triggered this kind of statement that I've been sharing with people is the best PD you can get is the PD you lead.
Totally.
Right? Just receiving PD is never as good as thinking about how can I challenge 20 or 30 adults to come to my session, learn something that they can do. That pushes your brain to this whole other level as a teacher leader. So I think that's also a really, really big aspect of why somebody would want to be faculty.
The other part too I was going to add when John was describing the camp, and this kind of ties into faculty too, is at a typical camp we'll have 100 to 125 people. You really leave with 100 to 125 friends. And people that you're connected with. I know the faculty for Tahoe for last year, we're still all in the same Boxer group together. And we're constantly sharing ideas, and we're kind of a little mini professional learning network. So it's an opportunity for you to sort of join in with another group of educators in Hawaii, but also it's going to be educators largely from the West Coast, from the mainland area as well.
Thanks. I also wanted to add, it is all about the community, and it's so true. And while we said that our day ends at 4 o'clock, that's just the time that we're actually, on our schedule. But the learning continues, the networking continues. There's always after hours, informal get-togethers, all kinds of stuff. Joe, you've organized nature walks and hikes and all kinds of stuff in Tahoe. And I think each camp has their own way of getting together even after, because no one wants to split up and go off their separate ways. It's really that camp experience that's very unique to the Rockstar.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I wanted to make sure that everyone had access to the CUE Rockstar website, and there is, Linda, you have put together a resource sheet for everybody who can access all kinds of things, but any link and any bit of information they need to find out more about the camp, as well as signing up to be faculty if they want. But our main website is cuerockstar.org, and from that website you can also access the faculty submission form. We do have a URL on that document that Linda has available for everyone, a shortener that can get you there quickly. but the faculty submission form is also located right off of our CUERockstar.org website. And I wanted to open it up for any comment or any question that might be coming in. Linda or Michael, if you've seen anything.
No questions. Just a lot of excitement.
For sure. So again, we're looking at July 12th through 14th at Seabury Hall. We will be staffing and having faculty of 10, so we hope that we have generated all that excitement and people are ready to sign up. Again, it's 3 days. You'll be doing 2 sessions each day if you decide to come on as faculty, but it is really only 3 topics since you would be repeating your session each day. I do want to note that the faculty submission closes January 10th. So if you want to do that, make sure to get in there, check out the document, the form, and what you need to submit so that you meet the deadline.
And if people have questions, they're more than welcome to tweet or direct message Danielle or I. We will coach you through the process. I don't think it's unfair to coach everybody. So if everybody gets coached, that means it's a fair competition. One other thing that's worth noting is since we are on the islands, if people have to travel, we do cover 3 nights of hotel stay there in Maui. So if you're coming over from Oahu or one of the smaller islands like the big island of Hawaii, we take care of your lodging for the trip too. So as long as they can get themselves there, that's covered, which is a really great thing because it allows us to get folks from all over the place.
The other really nice piece about that is that our faculty is all staying together at the same hotel, and oftentimes our attendees who are traveling in from out of the area choose to stay at that hotel too. So it is, again, just reinforcing that sense of community where everyone's staying together and continuing to network after. Linda, I'm going to turn it back over to you if there are no questions.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
So typically, how many faculty members, how many people who want to be faculty are accepted?
Well, that's a great question. Our submission form is for all camps. So anyone submitting to that can select one or all of the camps that they would like to go to, and then they can rank, I really need to be at this camp, or I might be able to make this camp, or no, I can't make this camp. So we do take a look at where everybody wants to be, and we try to get everyone where they want to be. We also want to balance out the sessions so that there's a nice variety and mix for our attendees. And we preserve a 10-to-1 ratio. So we'll have 10 faculty members, and the attendees will be 100. So it's really small workshops. It's a great ratio, 10-to-1.
That is a great ratio. Okay, Michael or Shane or Jody, any questions?
When does registration open for attendees?
We're looking at late February, mid to late February to open registration, and once we open it, is open for anybody to register. Some of our events, there is just so much excitement about them, and they go fast. We opened registration for one of our camps here in Northern California, our Roseville Rockstar, that's going to be in March. It sold out in 24 hours. It was quite impressive and amazing, just the buzz and the excitement. So some of our camps, they really go fast once we open them, and we'll tweet right out from CUE Rockstar as soon as we open that registration.
We'll try to give everybody a few days heads up when it's getting ready to go live. But Roseville was amazing because of 2 things. One is how fast it sold out. It literally was gone in a day. We opened it in the morning and it was gone that evening. But the other part was we probably have 30 or 35 people that are trying to get on a wait list. So, but we preserve the size. One of the magic things about Rockstar Camps is, I don't know if you guys have read The Tipping Point, but Gladwell in there, he talks specifically to the idea that human groups in groups smaller than 150 are more effective work teams. And so we're very cognizant of that, and we try to keep them around 100. Now, if it went really crazy, in Hawaii, and we can sometimes extend those groups up to 110, 115, but we don't think it's worth adding 20 people to water down the experience for the first 100 that are getting there. So we'll try to keep that really close to 100. And then, like Joe said, that metric is what allows you to really make friends with almost every single camp participant. It's really magical.
I'm excited. That's great. How about you, Jody? Any questions? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, not yet. I'm still absorbing everything and hoping that I can be on island, because currently I think we might be on the mainland. So.
Yeah, that's I've encountered that actually. I've talked to some people and they said, "Oh, I have plans to be somewhere else." So sometimes that's the price of being in the middle of the Pacific. Everyone wants to go away during the summertime when they have a chance. But yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. Any other comments? I think did you have anything else to add, Danielle, or are we good?
I think we've covered it.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank everybody for taking time out tonight to join us and learn a little bit more about the camp, and I really hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I'd just like to add that HST is very excited to be a partner of this CUE Rockstar, and we're definitely going to be pushing it out via our newsletter and via our social media channels, so follow us as well, and we'll make sure our members get word of that as soon as all the information is released.
Yeah, they
well,
actually
and Michael, go ahead, Linda.
They actually have put out some information. I asked Mike Travis to do that, and it was within, speaking about short notice, I think within a couple hours he had all set up. So really appreciate that cooperation by HST, and that is definitely the way to go, because the majority of our educators are involved with HST.
Well, and what I was just going to add was we've worked with HST affiliates in Massachusetts, in Michigan. We've got events coming up with Illinois and Wisconsin, and we really want to really partner with other ISTE affiliates, bring you guys a model, and when we leave, that learning stays behind, and it's really cool to be able to go out and generate some excitement in other areas. And our folks love traveling to other states and meeting new people. It grows our network, and then it'll be tremendous connections for you guys, just like doing this chat. We're meeting new people right now, and that's a really, really cool thing. So I want to be really just super clear about the idea that this is not about us coming in and doing things. This is about us coming and working with you guys, and that's really the other part of the magic, is that real strong collaboration of building something that's very unique and very local.
I have a question. Is this are the camps only in California and now Hawaii, or are there other states that CUE is the Rockstar camps are in?
Well, I will tell you that this next summer we are scheduled primarily for California. We had one in Las Vegas for a couple of years, and we did Saugatuck, Michigan for a couple of years with McCall. That one is going to move to, if you guys have heard of Jason Markey's Leiden High School, that group is moving this year to Leiden. And then last year we were at Boston with MassCUE, and we'll be back in Boston this year with MassCUE at a place called Boston University. So that should be pretty cool. We try to keep the camps a little bit mobile. We don't want it to ever be like, yeah, again, we're going to do it this year. Again, we're going to do it this year. So they'll migrate around a little bit. But this is the first off-continent CUE Rockstar, if you want to claim that hashtag. Everything else has been continental so far. So I don't think this one counts as international, but it's off-continent.
No, definitely not international. That's an insult. Okay, well, thank you all for coming on. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I wanted to especially thank Joe for giving us the opportunity at Seabury and coming to visit us and setting it up basically for us. So kudos to him. And if that's it, we're usually an hour show, but we've got definitely everything in half an hour. It's a model maybe we can follow for other shows. Get it all in half an hour, and then we can do something else. So unless anyone has any parting thoughts, we will.
My last thought is, if this is intriguing anybody, just check out the CUE Rockstar hashtag. It's just hashtag CUE Rockstar. We use the same hashtag for every event year-round, and we do a once-a-month Twitter chat in case people want to drop in. We should have one coming up. Our next one should be late January here. And so people can go ahead and start engaging the community, whether they're planning on coming to the Big Island or not. Sorry. I keep saying the Big Island. Why do you say that?
Oh.
Coming to Maui or not. But like Jody, you can attend remotely. We could Google Hangout you in for a short keynote one day, and so you still get the full experience.
I just wanted to add something. Having attended a Rockstar and then participated as a facilitator in a whole bunch since then, as somebody mentioned before, I learn so much every day in every session, and I have the best time. And I'm always challenged with questions that people bring up that I had not thought of, and it makes me better at what I do as a parent, as an educator, because it forces me to, think of things in different ways and meet the needs of people I hadn't thought of, and it's the best professional development for me personally as an educator, and it doesn't even feel like I'm facilitating because I'm having such a great time, and it doesn't feel like work in any way to me. So it's something that, whether you're registering to attend or hoping to be one of the facilitators on the faculty, it's an amazing experience.
And I just want to add one more thing to Diane. What you were saying made me think. Everybody has a first time for being a presenter or coming on to an event, and we, our camps are not. It's not always someone who's a veteran presenter, although we have a lot of veteran presenters who come. We're always looking for a mix of, local talent, up-and-comers who have something really exciting to, and they're very passionate about what they're doing. So we just encourage everybody to consider signing up and telling us, what it is that you do, what moves you, and what you're excited about.
Awesome. Very good. Okay. All last words in? Shane, did you want to say something?
No, we can definitely have Christine Frobel jump in too, if you want, once we have the registration date, so I can get posted up for the DOE
that would be
on their
fantastic.
newsletter and stuff. So that'll go to every state teacher. So.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, we got so many channels here in Hawaii to push this out. It's super exciting.
Awesome. Yes, and I hope we have a good turnout. I'm excited. Alrighty then. Thank you so much again, everyone, for coming on, and we will say aloha for now, and we're hoping to say aloha to hello to people to come to the camp, and we'll be in touch for sure. And if you want to get a hold of John, is it an email again? Sorry, John or Danielle. If you need help, faculty, if you're going to be submitting something as a faculty member, they can get a hold of you, John and Danielle. Is that correct?
Yes, they're absolutely welcome to reach out on Twitter or email, or the Rockstar community is so strong that if they have questions, generally just posting those as well on the hashtag CUE Rockstar. It's a well-used hashtag, and there's always people jumping in and answering questions. But if they have something specific, if you have a specific question for us, please feel free to reach out to us on Twitter, and we can certainly discuss anything with you privately. But please, throw your questions out to the community, and you'll get even more diverse answers.
Sounds good. And so January 10th is the deadline, and that's for all camps throughout 2016, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
And so if you're interested in other camps as well, that would be that same, it's like a common app for college. This is a
So
common
maybe
app
Jody
for
needs
the
to
Rockstar.
apply on the mainland. Maybe that's the trick.
Yeah, there you go.
You be in Boston at all, Jody? I can set you up real easy.
You can read my mind. Am I on?
You are now.
We're going to be in Southern California depositing my daughter at a college.
Where?
Well,
It's okay to remain anonymous.
We don't know yet, between USC, Chapman, and Loyola Marymount.
We have a couple of different options.
We have a couple of Southern California options for you,
That'd be
so that's
really cool.
entirely possible.
There you
And I want
go.
to echo what Danielle said too. We're always looking for, we get people that say, "Oh, I don't know if I'm up to that." And this is what I tell them. Diane, me, Joe, we all weren't a rock star at some point. There's a point where you just say, "This is what I'm going to do." And if you're an educator that leads children effectively and has good pedagogy, and you've got some wrinkles that you'd like to share, and you'd like to, share some of your learning, boom, you're ready to go. And we will coach you up. So go ahead and apply, share those ideas, and if you think you need some polishing, we routinely do Google Hangouts like this and Vox, like Danielle mentioned. We'll get a Voxer going, and we will help people with their slide decks ahead of time. We will help them with their orientation ahead of time. And one more last thought along those lines is, and Joe mentioned this earlier, was typically if you're doing more than about 10 or 15 minutes of slides at a Rockstar camp, you're not leading it right. So it's not like you're going to have to do 200 slides because it's a 2-hour session. A better model is, I'm going to show you guys how to do some really cool stuff with iMovie, and get your phones out because we're going to go make some movies. And so the prep on that really is inspiration. What is your big idea, as opposed to writing and developing slides and things like that. It's a very different flow that way.
Awesome. Okie dokie. Anything else? Last chance. This is great. Alrighty then, we will see you when we see you. Again, January 10th for teacher applications. Danielle and John are available for asking questions, as well as via Twitter, via CUE Rockstar. And we hope we get lots of applications for faculty, as well as people to attend. Very first time in Hawaii, really quite an opportunity for us, and we hope it goes well. I'm sure it will. Thank you all for coming on to promote, and we will see what happens. We may be on again in February or early March as we progress, possibly promoting more as we know what the presentations might be. So without further ado, we're going to say aloha for now. Take care. Everyone wave bye.
Bye.
Aloha. Take care.
Aloha.